Hi everybody, it's Tyler here at Eastern PA State Championships, checking in with 81Y. It's VEXMEN Paradox. This robot overall, a lot of really cool things with it. You really got to take a look at their intake. It's kind of this combo of this like S&C intake that I haven't seen before. So really cool to dive more into and see what they're doing with that. But we're going to be getting a great overview of this robot. Modular pieces on this, so you're going to see that we're talking about some other sensors that go into this. There's a lot of great things that make this team so successful. So let's learn more about them here on Pits and Parts. Punish, let's dive into this robot here and tell me more about this intake. What has really made it stand out and what makes it so unique for your team?
Yeah, so at the beginning of the season, we realized that the C-shaped robots, which put like upper middle and lower middle both from the front of the robot, they really dominated the middle goals. But then the S or linear shaped robots that score from the back into the long goal, they took control of those. So when looking at these two types, we wanted to do an integration of both. So as you can see, when both of these rollers spin together, it goes all the way to the top, so we can score at the long goal. When both of them spin in reverse, it goes all the way down. But when the top roller spins in reverse and the front spins forward, it actually comes out of the middle as such. So what we did is, since no other team had any similar robot, what we did is we created a prototype or how it would work on PowerPoint. And this helped us map out where every single roller would be. And after that, we CAD'd it in Onshape and then finally built it as it is right now. And obviously, it's not gonna work like the first time perfectly. So there's actually been a lot of changes to this intake. Like, as you can see, the entire backbone of it is rubber bands going all the way down, rubber bands and mesh. But initially, we had a metal plate. So there's two disadvantages of this. First of all, it was really heavy. And second of all, it wouldn't compress, so only the rollers would compress. And the problem with this is the rollers would have to take on much more force when pushing up the blocks, especially when there's all 7 blocks capacity that we have. So we switched it to have rubber bands at the back so that both sides can compress, like the rollers can compress and the back can compress.
When were all these changes made? Like, when did they all come together for you?
So we actually built this robot in November and kept it since.
Wow.
So it was just continuous improvement of these things. So we fixed this around December, and then since then it's just been small incremental changes, like adding this back guide, fixing our wing, and just overall just practicing.
A lot of iterations, a lot of practice through
yeah.
it, right?
Before we get to our next segment, we'd like to thank the following. As a leading AV systems integrator and live events provider, Visual Sound delivers the best solution for corporate and educational markets. From initial design to final installation, Visual Sound builds and supports the AV environments you need to deliver a seamless experience for your audience. Visit visualsound.com to level up your next event or to design your systems integration experience today.
Fast forward to Walter, talk about this cool this D-Score mech, but I love teams that bring modular options to robots as well too. So talk to me about how that's being implemented on your robot.
Yeah, so going a little deeper into our middle goal ecosystem, here we have our D-Score mechanism. So it's just 2 L channels with a little spacer on the end. And what this helps us do is once we're aligned with the middle goal, we can just put this up. It opens up the pathway for our blocks to go out, and it pushes out all the other blocks, and we cycle our blocks way faster than other teams who have the separate D-Score mechanism on the side. And then, in addition, we also have a modular sunroof here. So it works with the same piston that our D-Score mechanism is on. And what we can do is, in any given match, we can sub out our D-Score mechanism for our sunroof, and that allows us to play out a different strategy than fast D-Scores in the middle.
And I noticed on your robot, you got a lot of cats all around your robot. Can you talk to me about the way that helps your robot really compete on the field?
Oh, well, I think it's mostly for intimidation purposes,
yeah.
A little bit. But yeah, it was just something that Panish put on week before the competition. Yeah, it's really helped our autonomous a lot.
Absolutely. So let's pass it over to Sean, talk more about the plastic that is on your robot. Can you just give an overview of some of the key important plastic that is on this bot?
Yeah, so obviously on our bot we have a lot of plastic, starting off with our wedge, obviously to score all the blocks from the loader. And along with that, we also have our 3 guides. So we have one on our back here for the long goals, one in the front here for our middle goals, and we have this one for our wing. And what these do, it really allows our driving and autonomous to be a lot more efficient, as for the long goals we can just glide along and de-scroll all the blocks, or we can align with the long goal with the back, and same thing with the front and the middle goal. So it really reduces the human error, that margin of human error, and allows us to play our strategy more thoroughly and efficiently.
couple more things to wrap up on this robot here. We got a couple Neils coming in to talk about some of the distance sensors you're utilizing for skills. And then I noticed we were talking earlier, you said you had some sort of blocker mech too, so we'll dive more into those aspects.
Yeah, so on the robot, we have like a total of 6 distance sensors that we mainly use. We use 5 of them for our more complex autons, like our skills auton and our solo windpoint auton. As you can see, we have 1 that points towards the front, as well as 2 on each side. And we use these specifically to do position checks across the field, because we knew that with just odometry, because we run all omnis, we knew there'd be a little bit of slippage, which could lead to a little bit of error buildup through the program. And so for skills and solo windpoint, we knew that there'd be a constant position where in the corners of the field next to the loader and the long goal, that position should ideally always be constant, and the distance we had to go forward and backwards for the loader and the long goal would be the same. So what we do is we check the robot's position using the distance sensor from the front to compare how far it is from the wall, as well as the distance sensors on the side to check how far it is from the sidewall. And as you can see, they're actually strategically placed outwards about 6.5 inches apart, because we realized that the match loader could be in the way of the distance if we put only a single distance sensor. So what we do is we check the reading from the front sensor first. If it's too close to the wall, we use the front one that we can avoid detecting the match loader. And if it's too far back, we use the back one on either side to, again, just avoid that match loader confusing the robot's positioning. This has helped a lot for our consistency in our programming, because letting the robot be like extra position tracking on top of the odometry helps to do like 1 extra layer of position checking, which can help a lot with our localization.
What are you hoping the score for skills here?
For skills, autonomous, we really wanted to go for consistency at the state competition. So we're hoping for a 75, around like a 75-ish score, 77. That way we can just ensure that we're decently high enough to have like a consistent autonomous without much risk factor to it.
Perfect. Let's pass over to Neil as well too to talk about the blocker mech. Talk to me about how that works on your robot.
Yeah, so we kind of realized that pushback was a driver-heavy and fast-paced game, and we wanted to make sure that our driver had like no slip-ups. So what we wanted to do is we realized that sometimes we saw some teams that kind of had their blocker up while they were scoring blocks and taking blocks, and we realized that they would fall out the intake. So we have this blocker, this distance sensor right here. So when it doesn't detect any block, like it detects the rubber bands over here, our driver physically cannot open the blocker. And then when we intake a block, and now we try to do it, it allows finish to open, and it immediately comes back. So there's just little to no driver error on our robot.
I love the creativity that has gone into this robot here. Lots of great stuff for, I think, teams to learn from and be inspired from as well. So we really wish you the best of luck, VEXMEN Paradox here at Eastern PA. But thanks you so much for detailing this. A lot of great things I think teams will want to dive a bit more into. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. As a leading AV systems integrator and live events provider, Visual Sound delivers the best solution for corporate and educational markets. From initial design to final installation, Visual Sound builds and supports the AV environments you need to deliver a seamless experience for your audience. Visit visualsound.com to level up your next event or to design your systems integration experience today.